Okay, this is going to probably be the last question since it's almost 8 o'clock or after now, right?
I think we should ask one more.
We'll ask this one. I think it's a good question. With the many initiatives that could be potentially on the ballot, what actions are being done not to be counterproductive for legalization or medical access? Will any of the groups make concessions for all the groups to work together? So basically, I mean, we're asking, will this be counterproductive? Can you work together?
Well, I was asked by the board of the Ohio Rights Group to look into a bunch of shenanigans that happened to the Ohio Rights Group last spring. A lot of us were busy circulating petitions, and all of a sudden it felt like the sharks took over and came into the organization. Significant conflicts of interest, self-dealing, election law violations, stuff like that happened within the Ohio Rights Group. We have cleaned up the problem, but my job is to investigate what happened. So if anybody has any information, I hope you'll contact me about this, because we're going to do a significant job of figuring out just what happened here, and it doesn't look good. And on the basis of that, it makes it really hard for us to work with other groups when our distrust level is so high that another group would send agents into our group to destroy our campaign. Does not look good. And so trying to make peace and reconciliation is great, but reconciliation has to come after truth. And so we really need a truth and reconciliation thing here, because this doesn't look good. I'm really shocked by some of the things I'm finding out happened here in Ohio.
Next group.
I'm not sure what that means.
Me either.
Frankly. I do. We are in Overbrook. We are going for the 15th ballot. We're going to go to the ballot. We are fully funded. We have an outreach hand to everybody that wants to work with us. If you don't want to work with us, that's okay. We're still going to get to the ballot. We're going to run an effective campaign. We think we're better together than we are apart, but we also understand that there are hard feelings somewhere, and there may be hard feelings in other places. And, look, we're all adults. You don't want to work with somebody, don't work with them. We're not engaged in negative campaigns. We're not engaged in running someone down the road. We didn't start this to do that. We started this campaign to win. We're going to end this campaign on a win. And if you want to be a part of that win, join us. If you don't, that's okay. I think you'll also find if you haven't picked this up from me tonight, if you really want someone that's going to fight like hell to make sure that we win, you're talking about this group. We're going to do everything we can to win. And that's the truth. And we would welcome your joins.
Next one.
We would love to work with all the rest of the groups. I've physically tried to do it for the last 8 years. I've been trying to bring all of these groups together. I organized and helped organize the situation that Don was talking about earlier, where all the initiatives collected together. But I'm not willing to, and neither are the rest of the people in our group, to give up certain concessions what we feel is part of a viable cannabis market. So we will work. I want to work with every person in this room, and we're willing to make small compromises, as long as those compromises don't infringe on the foundation of what a real cannabis market should be.
Thank you. Don?
Yeah, basically the same thing. When we had the multiple petitions together at the time, there was some medical initiative, one was medical and hemp, and then there's one that's legalization. And people really loved, that's basically the nutshell of what those initiatives were about. As far as collaborating, collaboration attempts before I reached out and said let's try to go ahead and put these petitions side by side and work together and see what Ohio will support. That's always a standing invitation for me for any groups that I can at least agree with for the most part. I would say that I did have another point there.
Straight to you.
I guess, as far as what had happened in the past, the idea of working together had been, well, just go and put what you're doing on hold and let's work on this thing instead. And I figured, well, why you always work on together? So that's basically where I've always been. Now, if there is don't want to get too negative here myself, but as far as if there is an initiative that is planned that will greatly impact Ohio's farmers, then I would be against that. So that would make that situation hard to work with, but I do respect that there's, you know.
Thank you, Dan, very much. I need to ask 2 questions. It's after 8 o'clock. We got to get this done. Rob, you can speak in a moment.
Okay, it's pertinent to this question. It's one sentence.
Go ahead.
Ohio Normal has made it the policy that we will have your petitions at our booth. All we ask for is that you supply us the paper, we'll give it back, and that you pass through the gates of the Attorney General and the Secretary of State. And we will have them lined up, every single one. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Okay, 2 quick questions, and then we're going to close up. This question is for OTUP. When will you be releasing your ballot language? Do you have a date?
We don't have a specific date. We're shooting
Cartel.
For the end of the month. We would like to, you know, it could be done as soon as a couple of weeks. It might be another month. It might be a few days later than that. We don't want to rush it. What we do want to make sure is that we get it right.
Okay, thank you. And that same question on Responsible Ohio. Everybody wants your amendment. When can we have it?
Yeah, it's here tonight. It's actually going to be filed. Our goal is to file by Friday. It may get filed on the Attorney General.
When will we have it? Like we can physically like
You
put
can
it off
actually
your
see it
website.
here.
Right, I mean like take it
On
home.
the website, it's going to be this week.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. My last question is for Responsible Ohio. Why did you decide on 10? I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Why the 10? Why the 10?
Chris, want to take that?
Sure. I mean, we ran economic modeling, and we looked at demand in the various other states. We reviewed this RAND study, and the RAND study from just a couple months ago suggested that 10 was an optimal number if you've got a tightly regulating commission. So we went in the direction of a tightly regulating commission. We backfilled based on consumer demand what the size of these facilities would look like, and we came up with about 3 million square feet of grow, and worked through, again, the economics and the supply and demand to make sure they matched up, and we came to 10 based on the RAND study.
One quick thing here on the other part of this.
There's a question.
Just really quickly. The other aspect of this is that the 10 they don't stay forever. So if they go, if they break the law, they have their license revoked and replaced. If someone that has a license breaks the law, and they can have that license
Fails to follow
revoked.
any
Fails to follow regulations, they have their license revoked, and that's then put back out. Market. Also, one other quick thing. I'm sorry. If the demand cannot be met from those 10, the state has the authority to add licenses until that demand is met. So I think those are important aspects of this whole process. In
So it's in your language that you can't add. There will be, if the demand is needed, it will be added.
Yes.
Does that go for the labs as well, or is that just for the growth facility?
Anybody can do labs.
Oh, okay.
At a minimum, there will be 5 research and testing facilities, but that's just a floor. We expect that there will be more testing facilities and research facilities.
Okay, fantastic.
There's a question that no one's really asking, but I think everyone wants to know is, how does creating a cartel benefit anyone besides the people that profit from it? That's a legitimate question.
You can do this at home on Facebook.
No, that's a legitimate question we all want to know.
Enough. All you good this evening? Thank you for all coming
That's a
out.
legitimate question. Answer the question.
We're done. It's over, okay? So, 8 o'clock. It's past 8 o'clock.
Why is that not
It's
like
past 8 o'clock. We're done. We're done.
Why is that need to answer the question?
Thank everyone for coming out.
Wait a second, please. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Woo! Legalize! Legalize!
All right, that was your petition.
Yeah, I gotta get